Mad. I'ma feed 5-4 fun, money making animal. Don't put me in.
We was looking for the huckleberry, then we got you. That song is stuck in my head. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ask Mad Show. I am Mad, your Duke of Tribal Kingdom, international man of leisure, the Caesar of the universal players, your secret agent man giving you the game on all things. And I've never done back-to-back shows like this in the same week. I have to admit that it is a difference, you know what I'm saying? But I had to give y'all another show very quickly because I ain't give y'all a show last week. And just to fill you in a little bit as to why that is, I got a new puppy, man. That's right. I bought a brand new puppy. Prince Ramses is here for all to see. Well, you can't see him yet. If you've been on my Instagram or you've been on my Facebook, then you've seen him. You know what I'm saying? Go to Instagram, @MadFlo Jr., and you'll be able to see Ramses. Got Ramses about 2 weeks ago, and he has been a delight. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of a handful because he was so small and so young when I got him, but he is filling up nicely and fitting right into, you know, the dynamic I got over here at Casa de la Love. De la Love. And we was looking for the huckleberry, then we got you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's like one of the funniest things I done heard in the last week. The Dame joint is like the funniest thing I've heard. It's so funny, man. But yeah, got a new puppy over here, man, and you know, I'm a real estate guy. I don't really talk about it a lot. I don't like to talk about it at all, actually. But I'm a real estate guy, you know what I'm saying? Own some property, got some tenants, and had to, you know, not necessarily remove, but I just decided not to re-up, decided not to come up with another term, another lease for tenants that live on my second floor of my building, and they left it a mess. So I've been up there cleaning, you know what I'm saying, trying to get it presentable. You know what I mean? And I think I'm just out of the long-term rental business for good. It has not been to my satisfaction. So I'm going to do midterm and short-term rentals. We're going to see how that holds up. You know what I mean? But I want to talk about something today, something very specific. I want to talk about that. Not that it don't get talked about. I think it get talked about, but it gets overlooked as to what that is and how that works, right? Now, a lot of people, not just guys, but a lot of women, would fancy themselves to be hustlers, right? Everybody wants to be a hustler. Everybody listen to hustler music, not just Lil Wayne hustler music, but Jay-Z, Young Jeezy, you know what I mean? From that era, you know what I mean? Now you got Future and hell, I wouldn't say Drake necessarily, but you know, these big money guys that talk about having a lot of money and people follow these people. As a matter of fact, you're not going to find an artist that a lot of people quote unquote are fans of unless they talking big money talk. Unless they talking like they got all the money in the world, that's what motivates them, and you should too. They going to places that you can't go. They in Ibiza, they in Dubai, you know what I'm saying? They in the tallest penthouses in Miami and LA, and they go into all the exclusive joints in New York and Chicago. People make it seem like having money is what we all here to be doing. You know what I'm saying? And the best hustlers know what a real action is. Yeah, the best hustlers know where to go to get the real action. And when you're talking hustlers, you're not just talking drug dealers. You're not just talking gamblers. You're not just talking pimps. You're not just talking construction guys. You're talking anybody on any field that, you know, looks at and sees themselves as somebody who is here for the gusto. You know what I mean? They here to maximize. You know what I mean? They're here for something that's the most utilitarian thing that they could do as it pertains to them earning money. You know what I mean? And the best hustlers elevate the game to the next level every time. As a true hustler progresses, he elevates his game so that he can meet the next level every single time. So you might start out with a quarter. No, you might start out with an 8 ball. You know what I'm saying? Some start out with less than that. You know what I'm saying? Start out with a 3.5. You know what I'm saying? Work your way up to a 7. Get your way up to a half. Cop a whole O. Then you're going to get you a cutie pie. So on and so forth till you get pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like Guwap say, pounds in the trash can. Gucci do the dishes. Don't nobody fuck with my kitchen. So if you listening to this type of music and you even looking at it on TV, whether it's, I mean, I don't want to go so far back, but they say Superfly started it all. As everybody likes to go back to Superfly. Now they really be getting Superfly confused. They really get it confused. They be trying to put Superfly with the Mac. Now they did come out in the same time period, and you know, Priest was dressed like a pimp or a player, but that's just how hustlers dressed back then, because Eddie dressed like a pimp or a player. But they was drug dealers, you know what I'm saying? They was hustlers in the profession of selling dope. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really deal with women like that, but that's neither here nor there. That's just a misconception that people get about the movie Superfly. But a lot of people would say that Superfly kicked it off where the hustler spirit, the hustler ambition permeated through urban America, and everybody wanted to sell dope so they could live dope and live fly like Superfly and Eddie. You know what I mean? And if you watch the movie Superfly, you see how the movie started and where it started at. You know, he started off, he had this white broad crib, looked like they downtown somewhere real nice, you dig? And he laying there with her, you know what I'm saying? And he get up out the bed, you know what I'm saying? Before he got to bed, she said something like, Prince, woo, woo, woo. He was like, yep, I gotta make a pickup. Shout out to Ryan O'Neal, man. Back in the day, them dudes talked. They had their little way of talking, didn't they? I gotta make a pickup. Talk like you press buttons on the keyboard and he say what you typed. Got that AI 1970 voice. But he left there, got into a Fleetwood Cadillac. It looked like something real fly. Might have been an L-Dog. I can't. If somebody correct me, please let me know what kind of Cadillac that was at the beginning of Superfly that Priest got in when he pulled off from the White Broad crib. Remember, they was trying to tow his car. They were going to give him a ticket or tow it. I think they were going to try to tow it, right? And he came out just at the right time with the big, you know what I'm saying, big brown fur on, you know what I'm saying? He was fly, super fly, quite literally. You know what I'm saying? Got in the car and pulled off. Now you, as the credits is rolling, you seeing him ride through the city, and you know, my man Curtis Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? Little child running wild, watch a while. You know what I'm saying? Now the Superfly soundtrack is like, it's heralded as one of the best pieces of music compositions ever put together. And I ain't gonna lie, it's hard pressed to find something better. That Superfly soundtrack got a Jones running through my bones. You know what I'm saying? I'm your mama, I'm your daddy, I'm that nigga in the alley. I'm your doctor when you need. Want some coke, have some weed. You know me, I'm your friend. I lean more thick and thin. I'm your pusher man. I'm your pusher man. Right? And that whole movie is just full of the hustler spirit, but you see him, he get back to the ghetto, he get to the hood where he do his business, where he do his trade. You see what I'm saying? And what happens is you got two dope fiends, two junkies walking down the street, right? And they doing the 1970s boogaloo walk, man. And you got, come on. And you walking this stuff, and you turn back, man, come on. And then he'd go from a jog, then he start walking again. You looking like, okay, what was the point in jogging for, like, not a block, not even half a block, just a few steps, you know what I'm saying? They walking, then you get to jogging a little bit, he start walking again. They trying to catch something, you know what I'm saying? They trying to catch a fish. They know somebody gonna be somewhere at a particular time, and they trying to catch him, you know what I'm saying? But one of them, he kind of scared and timid. He in the background, you know what I mean? The little one, the little guy, you know, the big dude, you know what I'm saying? He got on the Donny Hathaway hat, you know what I'm saying? He like, come on, man, hurry up, man, come on. You know what I mean? And you see them laying in wait. And who comes through the door is Priest. So Priest was the fish that they was trying to catch. And it was too big for them. You know what I'm saying? They bit out more than they could chew. Priest ended up whooping both of their ass, chasing them down. making one dude throw up, you know what I'm saying, because they tried to jack him for what they jacked him for. He whooped dude quick, chased the other dude down, beat him up, took, what he got off him, and the next thing you know, he was rolling. Now, that scene is important because even though he was about to get his car towed, even though it didn't appear as he belongs in the area that he was in, nobody was trying to catch him at that particular time. I mean, depending on the way you look at it, you know what I'm saying? Because it's always a bigger fish in the ocean. It just depends what body of water are you playing in. And that's kind of what I want to talk about, you know what I'm saying? Because if you have no attachment to your past or where you came from, you at least know where you came from, so you know where you're going. You don't have to be attached to where you came from to know where you came from. Of course you know, because you was there. You know what I'm saying? But the past ain't real, man. You know what I mean? The past is for suckers, to put it plainly. If you somebody who living in the past or attached to where you came from, so attached that you can't move forward, you ain't got no mobility, that means you're going to stay in a small body of water. Right? And if you really want to catch the big fish, where do you go to catch the big fish? That's the question of the day. Where do you go to catch the big fish? If you's a real hustler, you know what I'm saying? And you don't want to just keep nickel and diming. You don't want to catch the small fish because you can only eat so much messing with small fish. And depending on how much you eat, that's how big you get. And depending on the size of the environment that you in, you can't get no bigger than that. So you got to go where it's bigger to catch the big fish. You know what I'm saying? Small fish are in ponds. Big fish are in oceans. Everybody know that. Little kids know that. They teach you that in kindergarten or first grade or something. You know what I mean? And even if you don't learn it in school, a lot of kids growing up, during our era, they would have goldfish. Now, I never got a goldfish. Closest thing I got to goldfish was the crackers, and even those was expensive. So you couldn't really get those blasted goldfish. Anyway, depending on the size of the bowl you put the goldfish in, it dictates how big the goldfish can get. So if you got the goldfish in a small little, what do they call them? Fish, not even a tank, it's a bowl, fish bowl. Then it can only get that big. If you put it in, a medium-sized fish tank, it can only get that big. If you put it out in the pond, the ocean, so on and so forth, the goldfish could reach the extremity of the biggest fish depending on the size of its environment, right? And the big fish obviously can't survive in those smaller conditions, right? Well, you'll see somebody who has a shark tank, but depending on the size of the tank, that's how big the shark can get, so on and so forth. So what's the difference? It's not just the size, it's the aesthetic, because it looks different inside of a fish bowl. It looks different inside of a fish tank, inside of a pond, a lake, an ocean. They all got different aesthetics. Now, you may not know that from your own experience, but just use your noggin. You know what I'm saying? Use the sense that God gave you. It only makes sense that these different sizes, these different environments would have completely different looks. And I believe that the looks lend to what you can do. Yeah? Check game, man. The look of the environment plays into what you can do in that environment. Now we got the example of Priest running through my bones. When he got back to the hood, to the ghetto, where them dolphins jumped him, the building and the surrounding area, the whole neighborhood where he got jumped on, it made sense you got jumped on over there. And where he came from that morning, it made sense that didn't nobody bother with him. They may not have been running up to him trying to get a conversation out of him, but ain't nobody bother with him. Now, you kind of see that throughout the film, man. At another point in the movie, they going to meet somebody at a little restaurant, a little joint, coming to meet one of his workers, right? And it's some revolutionary brothers in there, you know what I mean? And they also was trying to catch a fish. Again, Priest and Eddie, you know what I'm saying? It seems that anytime they in the ghetto, the hood, or the surrounding areas, that they are the fish. that people is trying to catch. And when they leave to go elsewhere, they trying to catch them a fish. And when they go to try to catch them a fish, it's another bigger fish trying to catch them. See, the small fish that try to catch Priest, they in the hood, they in the ghetto, and they can't hold a candle to him because these revolutionary brothers. So back then, everybody had these voices. I don't know if they was doing it for the movie or that's how they really talked, man. But everybody had these voices, these accents. And so one of the dudes said something to Priest, and he was like, "You gonna have to start paying some dues, nigga." He was basically saying like, man, you making money off the neighborhood, making money off the community, and you eating and we see you eating, and you gonna have to start paying dues, as in if you're gonna be doing business around here, the business that you doing, you gonna have to start paying us. And Priest wasn't going for that. Of course he wasn't going for that. You saw he beat up the two dope fiends at the beginning of the movie. So Priest told him, he said, "Hey man, I'm gonna tell you something. The day that y'all get in the street with guns talking about kill Whitey, I'm gonna be the first one with you." He saying, "Until then, get up out my face. I got business." He's saying, man, you ain't about nothing. You a small fish. He know what big fish really look like. He know what big fish really do. And what you talking about, these little nickel and dimes talking about paying dues, man, he can't be bothered with the likes of you. But the day that you decide to really catch the big fish, in New York, they call it catch wreck. And I think that's where this film took place, if I'm not mistaken. Again, correct me if I'm mistaken. Thought it was in New York because thought he was walking through Central Park with old girl. But if you know better, hit me. And he was letting them know, like, nah, I'm cool. Another point, it's a very, 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 very famous portion of the movie where what's the dude name, man? The fat boy. What's his name, man? Fat Freddy. So after Priest dealt with the dope fiends, he already mad, he already irritable, but he cool, he chilling. So he at the crib, he get a knock at the door. It's his mans with Fat Freddy, right? He's like, "Hey, come on in, man, come on in." You know what I'm saying? So his mans come in, right? This the 70s now. So he's like, "Hey man, try some of this coke." So Priest started laughing, take out his little necklace that, they used to keep the little spoons on the necklace, Jack. And he, hit some of the coke. And he like, "All right, so what's up?" He say, "It's Fat Freddy, man." So Priest like, "Yeah? What's the matter with the fat man?" "The dude ain't got your money." He say, "That's his ass. He's good for it. It's that bitch of his, that's the problem." And Priest said the coldest line. Priest said, "Listen, man, I got 50 guys out on the street now. If they all get bitch problems, I starve. Is that it? Is that what you're trying to tell me, dude?" Man, I thought that was cold-blooded, man. Because like he said, what that got to do with me? You know what I'm saying? And so he go to Fat Freddy, man. Fat Freddy like, "Look, man, all I do is sell coke." He was like, "I don't care." You know what I'm saying? He said, "Either you gonna go out and get my money tonight, or I'm gonna take that whore of yours and put out there on Whore's Road." He's like, "Come on, man, that's my wife." He said, "So what? I'm trying to give you a chance." So he gave him a gun, told him he got to go rob somebody to get his money. Now, fast forward in the film, he's sitting at the table with the revolutionaries, and he waiting on Fat Freddy. Now, Fat Freddy went out and hit a lick, robbed some white boys, and he came back with the money. So, what ended up happening? Well, them same white boys got up with Priest and them later for the real con. You know what I'm saying? They had to get with Scatter. And if you watch the movie Superfly, you will see everything I'm talking about. But that movie clearly breaks down the best hustlers, the true hustlers, because Priest and Eddie had a dilemma. You know what I mean? They either sell this dope or this white boy gonna kill him. You know what I'm saying? And Eddie was down with it. Priest is like, "Man, we got to get up out of this." Eddie like, "What you talking about, man? Yeah, I know that I ain't this and I know I ain't that, but at least I'm something. At least I'm this. And the only way I'm this is because of him." And that's profound, because Priest didn't agree. But there was something to lend to what Eddie was saying. Eddie was ripping back the fabric of fantasy and living completely in reality. While Priest, I keep calling him Prince. Priest maintained some sort of imagination as to what his ambitions were and where he was going. He knew where he came from, and so did Eddie. Eddie also knew where he came from, but Eddie was okay with where he came from. But Prince wasn't. Prince knew that where he was going was far better than what they was living in. And so, again, it's the aesthetic, it's the size, big fish don't live in a small space. So you have to go to their habitat to catch one. Now, if you relaying this to the game, again, what game you talking about? You talking about the dope game? Talking about the pimp game? What game you talking about? Gambling? Because the best gamblers go where? Las Vegas. Now, you can stay in your neighborhood, in the alley, and shoot dice either on the alley, or on somebody's porch or something. But again, them small fish, you only going to be able to get so big dealing with them. The real big fish, the real true hustlers in gambling, they go to Las Vegas because the stakes is higher, the lights is brighter, the aesthetic is different. Same thing in the pimp game. Now, if you's a pimp player, a Mac, a true hustler in the sense of those words, then why would you only be in the ghetto trying to catch a broad? No, man, because it ain't about necessarily getting her to sell her body for you. It's about catching the big fish so that you can get the most return on your investment. And where do you go to catch the big fish to get the biggest ROI? You got to go where it's glamorous, where it's condos and terraces and balconies, overlooking the waterfront, very luxurious, where you see people driving Porsches, Benzes, Rolls Royces, Bentleys and such, Lamborghinis and Ferraris. You catch you one of them bras, walking out of Celine, a Dolce or Gabbana, a Gucci or Louis Vuitton. You catch you one of them, your game gonna extend way longer than you catch a bitch at the bus stop. Now, I ain't saying that you can't take that bus stop and make it into something, but what I'm saying is it's a limit as to what you can do there. And when you go to where literally they can touch the sky is the limit. So it's up to you, man. The small fish ain't gonna be able to grow, man. The environment stunts their growth. And so you go and catch a small fish in that environment, you can only get as big as they allow you to be because you there with them. So what did the real hustlers in the dope game do? Yeah, they might have sold dope in the hood. They got to go back. Priests got to go back every day. But that ain't where they living. That ain't where they laying their head. Everybody know that. Cameron told his story about when he first met Jay-Z and Tata when he was with Dame. And he said Jay-Z been had a nice dope crib somewhere on Fifth Avenue. It's some New York stuff. I don't know their area like that. But he's like, he had fish tanks in the walls and all of that back then. Before they was really big in the rap. So you mean to tell me you got all that? Where you got it at? They talk about what happened with C Murder down in New Orleans and what his downfall was because P didn't stay in the projects. But C Murder did. C Murder decided to stay in the Calliope. They said he had however many units inside the projects, and he had his pad was so dope you didn't even think it was a projects. But what happened to C Murder? Where's C Murder at now? What's C Murder been at for the last 20, 30, however many years? C Murder been in jail. He been in Angola, and they saying he ain't never getting out. As many campaigns, Free C Murder, I done seen it for so long. I saw Free C Murder before Free BG and BG home. And C Murder ain't. Now, it ain't gonna be the same result for everybody, but you stunted your growth by staying in a small environment. Now, I don't know if that's due to fear or due to love. They say fear is a stronger motivator than love, so I'm inclined to think that people are staying in these small environments, whether they don't leave or they continuously going back, is because they're afraid to grow. They're afraid to adapt to a new habitat. Now, if you go buy some fish at a fish store or fish market, where you buy them, get them out the water if you like, and you're trying to integrate it into another environment, you usually have to bring it in the same temperature water and slowly over time leave it in a plastic bag in the new environment so that it can get acclimated to the temperature. Because if you drop it in there, it'll die. Because his body is not acclimated to the temperature of the water, whether it's too warm or too cold. Yeah, it's something that's going to throw it off and it's going to knock it all the way off. So as you continuously going back, your temperature not changing. You're not really elevating your game and getting prepared to be in this new environment, this new habitat where you going to predominantly reign. Now, we talked about Jay-Z. He's a billionaire now, and, I guess people won't let him grow. I think they will let him grow, but it's a matter of personal opinion and whatever your perspective is. If you have a personal issue with Jay-Z and Beyonce and whatnot. But speaking of a big fish, you know what I'm saying? Jay-Z is obviously a big fish. Now, there's something going around because he detangled his locks. If you follow Jay-Z, you saw his hair growth journey. You saw, I forget what video it was, man, but I think it was that, I know he was in the kitchen with some white boys playing cards. It was like a Reservoir Dogs type of thing. If anybody could tell me what video that was, I'd be greatly appreciate that. I can't exactly recall the video it was, but I know he was in there with the Reservoir Dogs, white boys, and they was playing cards. And Death of Auto-Tune, I think. I think that's the Death of Auto-Tune video. Well, you can see he got some nappy thing on his head. Now, at the time, it didn't look like that's his hair. Because we never saw Jay-Z with hair. This guy be like 2008 or something. We never saw him with hair. We like, that's his hair, like, for real? And sure enough, that was his hair, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I guess. But then he cut it because when he was doing I got the keys, he had his hair cut back. And then at some point, again, he started growing his hair. And next time we seen him, he had like these freeform locks coming in. Looked real funny. And then next time we seen him after that, he had his Basquiat phase where he had his hair the same way that Basquiat wore his hair. And then after that, you see him with these wigs, and then, finally see him with the long joints and everything like that. Well, last time we seen him just recently at the Roots picnic, he had a fro. And people was coming out saying that that's a wig, that's not his real hair, blah, 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 woo, woo, woo. So Beyonce and her team, I'm sure Jay has something to do with it too, decided to put together like this not a montage, but some sort of video, some sort of reel of his detangling journey, of them putting her sacred product, this detangler, inside his hair. So they killing two birds with one stone. They want to kill the wig rumor and at the same time promote their product, which is brilliant marketing. It only makes sense. As a matter of fact, y'all might be the real dummies. Like, y'all might be the marks. Because they probably did all of that just to get y'all to be like, man, what's going on with his hair? And here we go. We finna promote this new, product to detangle. And you see it. Let's watch this. As a matter of fact, let's watch the Jay-Z hair detangling video. And we can see it for ourselves. I'm not that invested in it, but it's far too many people talking about it for me not to pay attention to this video. So let's go in here real quick and let's see for ourselves what Jay-Z and Beyonce got going on. So they're using the product. You can see his hair still is in this shape.
Loctician who helped start the process with us.
Yeah.
And to Blue,
they got a real loctician. Look like three people on his head at the same time.
We kept getting better at our own individual techniques.
And so by him having these thick wicks already, you can see it's clearly in his scalp.
I really admire Jay-Z.
I don't even know how they saying he got a hairpiece. You can clearly see when they was pulling on it that this was his actual scalp. Now this is like background from the picnic.
We spent another day detangling.
Spent the whole another day detangling. Now I don't know why they saying that this is a wig piece because people are going so in depth that they zooming in. She combed it, cut it, washed it. That's hair.
Then Letty gave him his cornrows.
Then they braided it. Now they're using their products and promoting their product. This is smart. I hate when y'all be tapping on the canister. Stop tapping on it with your nails. That's just so dumb to me. People will pull out they'll pull out a thing of mustard and get to tapping the mustard. So dumb. Look at this churn. I think y'all just hating on this people's family, man. This wasn't that bad, honestly, man. Like this wasn't a big deal, man. Like honestly, this wasn't a big deal. I don't even understand why this is a big deal like that. Why is this such a big deal? Let's go particularly to this video here where you can clearly see her combing his hair, man. So let's go to the video of her combing his hair, man. Look, she's doing her little dance and combing his hair. She's pulling on it. Look, that's in his head. That's his hair. I don't understand the hate. Talking about you, that's his head, man.
Didn't let you get.
It's not that big a deal to me. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not that big a deal to me. I'm not rolling. I'm not going along with this. That's not his real hair. Come on, man. If that ain't his real hair and she pulling his head back and all like that, then you explain to me how they able to do that. Explain it to me. Explain it to me. I'm nobody's, you know what I'm saying? What they call the whole Vengers, Joe Budden and them, they whole Vengers. So they going somewhere else with it where, you know, according to them, they got to protect this man's image and do all like that. I'm just a person that listened to his music growing up, was inspired by his hustle. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about hustlers, and a lot of people would consume Jay to be the ultimate hustlers. Started out in the projects, Marcy projects. Now, I spoke about this before where they completely wrote those people off and gave them government cheese. They wrote them off, gave them government cheese, said they weren't going to never be nothing. And him, being the ultimate hustler, was able to rise out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like the rose that grew from the concrete or the phoenix that rise from the ashes. However you look at it. And now he's up there flying high. He is super fly. You know what I'm saying? And he knew he had to go where the big fish was in order to catch him one. And he knew he had to leave the environment that he was in because he could only get so big there. Like, I think it was 2001 or 2002, or maybe 2003. They got this famous video where Jay-Z brought Michael Jackson to Summer Jam. And backstage, you could see him standing back there with Dame, the whole Rockefeller, and Jay got this look on his face. He's sweating. He just got done performing, and he got this look on his face. And people were saying this is the moment where Jay-Z knew he was getting away from Dame and breaking up with Rockefeller. It's because the environment that he was in could only allow him to grow so much. And he wanted to get bigger because he's the ultimate hustler. He's all about elevating the game. And real hustlers can relate to that if you are. But it's something about being close to somebody where you don't want them to grow. You don't want them to keep elevating their game, and you ain't got to say it out your mouth. It's really your actions. It's how you talk. It's how you walk. It's how you respond. It's how you see that person. Well, ultimately, that person is doing what's natural to them because everybody is on their own journey, man. We not all on the same journey. We all here to do different things. I'm here to do my thing. You here to do your thing. If we cross paths or intersect at some point, man, be down. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy to meet you. But I don't see it as I can only get this far because this is as far as you go. No, this is as far as we go together. I got to keep going on my thing. You got to keep going on your thing. It's only right. You know what I'm saying? The game is cold, but it's fair. And fair exchange ain't robbery. I ain't took nothing from you, and you ain't gave me nothing. So what makes you think you're entitled to either go where I go or to stunt my growth? It ain't going down. I don't believe that. It don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? And if it's something as petty as his hair, like this is how you know this isn't about Jay-Z hair. It's about who he is. It's about what he represents. It's about him being a hustler. And those of y'all that ain't, whether you like him or not, you have to admit the moves that he done made, the things that he done to get to where he at, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it or you would. That's the other part of the game. You can be somewhere eating, you know, the finest foods, drinking the finest wines, you know, dining in the finest establishments, driving the finest cars. And people would claim that they would want to do that until it becomes an option for them. Or at the very least, they see you doing it. And now all of a sudden it's something bad. I remember I had a music video called Mad's Caddy. And for the video, I went and got this drop top BMW with cherry red seats. It was cocaine white with the cherry red seats. Dope, you know what I'm saying? And I pulled up in the hood before I pulled up on set, you know what I'm saying? And this one in the joints where you got the roof and you push a button and the roof go in the trunk. Now, it had been days and nights where I done sat on the porch, sat on the corner, and we looking at cars go back. And tell my man, I get one of them right there. Them decent, yeah. Or a mug will come to you with their phone and show you a car they want to get. This is regular in the hood. If you ain't been to the hood, this is regular in the hood where people will fantasize about what they want. It ain't even window shopping, because window shopping, you at least went to where they got the car. You at least went to where they got it. No. With technology, we could put it up on our phone, or if we lucky enough, if we sit here on this porch long enough, maybe one of these cars will roll through. And now, I don't know where they going, but they ain't stopping. Yeah, they going somewhere, but they never stopped in front of us, around the corner from us. They never stopped nowhere near us, these cars I'm talking about. And so when I get one of them and pull up, I'm expecting everybody, the guys, to want to get in. And we finna ride this mob because ain't this what we talked about? No. Boy, I was sadly mistaken. No, ain't nobody want to get in the car with me that day. People came up with excuses. Oh, man, my stomach hurt. Now, why would that stop you from getting in the car? You already outside. Your stomach hurt now? It hurt your stomach to see me pull up. Man, I must really make you sick. Now, that's just the car that my everyday joint. So I make you sick. Depending on what I'm wearing. You see this fly, joint that I got on right now? You know what I'm saying? My baby told me I look like I went golfing. Now, I ain't mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to my homeboy Ryan. You know what I'm saying? I had a golfing experience however many months ago in Utah. And, man, I liked it so much that I will be on the green soon. I will be back on the green soon. But back to this real stuff, man, this hustler talk, man. You not a true hustler if you see somebody who is and you either don't relate to them or you got some sort of issue with their ability to out hustle you, to outmaneuver you, to put themselves in a position where they always saw themselves while you still in a small environment. You can't manage to get out of your natural habitat. This person then jumped over the moon in so many different ways that now you barely can see them. Just like them cars that used to roll through that. You know what I'm saying? That person is riding through. Sometimes, maybe, you're going to have to catch him. And the reason why is because we out trying to catch the big fish. And we don't have time dabbling and spending. Man, check this here, man. I remember before I really was on this type of time, you know what I'm saying, being in certain environments full time like that, I would try to check in the hood first because that's my first love, man. I love the neighborhood I grew up in. I love the house I grew up in. I love the people I grew up around, man. I got so much love for y'all. Y'all don't even know. I know I don't kick it with y'all no more. I know I don't talk to y'all no more, but I got so much love for y'all. You would never believe me if I told you. But the truth of the matter is, what love got to do with it? Ike and Tina taught you that. Man, love ain't got nothing to do with it. And Frankie Lyman told you that only fools fall in love. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't you listening? And so it ain't got nothing to do with love. As much love I got for you, I love me more. And I'm on a mission. I'm a God-seeing man. I've been sent here from God to live this life, to go through these steps, to go through these experiences, ultimately to be the real ultimate hustler that I can be. And I can't do that in a small environment, man. But I used to check in periodically before I go and do my due, because I got to go catch, And one of them times, man, I pulled up on the guys, man, we chilling. And I'm only there for about 10 minutes. I pull out a joint, smoke a joint with them. We passing the joint. And then I said, all right, man, I'm about to get on head on, man. It was like, oh, man, you leaving? I was like, yeah, man, I got to go bust some moves, man. I got to go handle some business. And the mom said, oh, well, thanks for giving us some of your time. I was like, huh? I beg your pardon? Like, why you taking it like that, homie? I gotta go do what I got to go do. How long you want me to stay here with you? Some of my time? Well, I guess I'm supposed to stay longer. How much longer do you need? You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can negotiate, but honestly, we can't. It's not negotiable. And now I don't spend no time, particularly for what? In order to do what? Like Dr. Nelly Fuller Jr. said, in order to do what? I got big fish to catch, man. I ain't mad at you for the fish that you catch. I'm not on your bumper about your activities or lack thereof. It's something about people that's immobile and think they got some motion, and then they come across somebody with real motion. Why is it that they try to stop you or slow you down? Can anybody tell me that? Why is it when you got real motion, somebody who think they do witness your greatness or witness your ability to mobilize, and they want to slow you down or stop you altogether. What is that about? You can call them haters, but are they haters? I mean, yeah, in the sense of the word, they is, but they don't hate on everybody. Like, they picking and choosing, man. How you pick and choose who to hate on? Tell me, riddle me that. Like, riddle me that, man. Just like the tenants that I had on the second floor, man. Just like them. Just like the tenants I had on the second floor, you got to have some type of hatred in you to leave a place to where you left it, man. They had little burn marks in the wall, so you can tell somebody had started putting their blunts out on the wall, man. You know what I mean? The bathtub, just everything was a mess. Not just the stuff that they left behind that we had to go clean and throw out, but you can tell that they put a bunch of holes in the wall that wasn't there prior. So on the way out, you decide to put holes in the wall. It's like only hatred could make you do something like that. You know what I'm saying? It has to be such a level of such hatred that you will tear up something on your way out because it's not yours. Not because you just so happen to make a mistake and drop something, broke something. No, you intentionally took and put it out on the wall. Like, what is that about? And so I'm saying the same thing. What is with this level of hatred where you picking and choosing who you gonna hate on? Why? What is, like, how that work for you? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure the person that you hating on, they may not be, enthusiastic about it, but I don't think they bothered by it, especially if they done got used to you being a hater. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I done got used to certain people being a hater that I don't even notice it no more. I barely pay any attention to it because for what? In order to do what? And try to convince this person to not be a hater? Well, how you gonna do that? They won't even acknowledge it. They say one of the first stages of grief or to get over something is acknowledgement or addiction. You have to acknowledge what you are. You're addicted to hating. You're a hater. You have to acknowledge it before you can heal from it. And if they won't acknowledge it, ain't no way to get them to stop doing it. So you got to get away from them. Just like in the situation, the tenant situation, you're not going to be able to thoroughly vet people as much as you think you can. You're not going to be able to vet them to live in your space, and you're not going to be able to vet them to be around you. You're just going to have to deal with them because it's going to be some type of incident, some type of occurrence that happens that's going to make you say, why did I do this? Why did I choose to be around this person? Why did I allow it? And now you kind of locked in. You got to get around it. You can go through it, you can jump over it, or you can go around it. However way you get it done, you have a dilemma, you have an obstacle in front of you, and you got to decide how you're going to handle it. And after you get done with that obstacle, your best bet is to not even deal with that type of person altogether, whether they're a hater or a person who, for all intents and purposes, may not be a hater of you, but they got hatred in them, and it could be you. See, they picking and choosing who they want to hate on. It might not have been you at first, but now it is you. You know what I'm saying? And something that don't happen often, but it has happened, is you could be the big fish. Check game. Like I said with the movie Superfly. Now, Priest at certain points of the movie was the big fish that they kept trying to get. The dope fiends tried to push up on him. The revolutionaries tried to push up on him. And even them white boys tried to push up on him. And at the end of the day, he had to get up out the city. He took the girl that he liked, the girl that he loved, and they had to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? Because it had got overwhelming. You know what I mean? So you have to peep when you the fish. You know what I'm saying? You might not be like, you might be sharp. You know what I'm saying? You might be sharp. You might have your wits about you, but an unsuspecting mark is not expecting the con. You're not expecting the con to come. You know what I'm saying? As sharp as you is. And so I got another question. Have you ever been conned? Like, have you ever been conned where somebody was able to successfully trick you or fool you into thinking something that it wasn't? And did it allow for you to lose? Did you lose money? Did you lose profit? Did you lose revenue? Did you lose your home? Did you lose your peace of mind? Did you lose your wife? Did you lose your true love, your husband? Like, were you conned into doing something, conned into giving something, or conned into doing nothing? Because again, these haters that want to stop your motion, stop your mobility, your momentum, they're conning you into doing nothing. Relax, sit back. you worry too much. You think too hard. You think too deep. You work too much. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you relax? Why don't you take a break? That's the person that's trying to stop your momentum. That's a con artist. That's somebody that you should not trust. And like, has it ever gotten so close to you in business or your personal life where somebody pulled a sleight of hand before you could catch it? Like, before you can catch it, I've had my own experiences. You know what I'm saying? I've had experiences where somebody was able to get me. Now, it's only been in business, not in my personal life. And once I knew better, I did better. You know what I'm saying? You knew better, you grew better. If you know better, you do better. And one, I'll tell you, I'll give you a story. When I first got into the fashion business, right, just the fashion industry in general, it was more than just me being fly, because I always been fly, I always dressed nice, and I said I elevate my game every time I reach the next level. I got to elevate the game with me, And I had started getting real fly. I'm like, you know what, man, I'm going to fashion shows. So I had started going to Fashion Week. They would have fashion shows here in Chicago, downtown venues, other places. And I had started just going. I would go by myself. And not only would I go to these fashion shows to network, to peep game, to see how things is running, you know what I'm saying? I would be recruiting. So I recruit models straight off the runway for my videos, for my photo shoots. You know what I'm saying? If I see somebody who gave a particular vibe, not just a particular look, but just a vibe, and they had something about them that I said, you know what? I want to capture this. I would like to work with this person. I would approach, you know what I'm saying? Do my business pitch, everything like that. And boom, we would go work. Met a lot of people like that. And so it was cool. And not only would I go to the fashion shows and things like that, I would go to the fashion events. Now, one of the main fashion events that they do here in Chicago is a Met Gala viewing. Now, obviously, the Met Gala takes place in New York, so we're not going to the actual Met Gala. But people here in Chicago, they fancy it. They fancy the Met Gala, fancy the outfits, fancy the themes. So do I. I like to go, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just a fly cat regardless. So I never went and bought an outfit just to go to these events. They would be the clothes that I already possess. You know what I'm saying? You see me walking down the street this fly. What the mark say? So fresh and so clean, clean. Ain't nobody, don't ask me. You know what I'm saying? And I went to a couple of these Met Galas, you know what I'm saying? Well, I went to 3-4 of them, these viewings, not the actual Met Gala. I didn't go to the one of 2025, I believe. Yeah, I think that was 2025. I didn't go to that one, you know what I mean? No. I did go to 2025. I didn't go to 2026. I didn't go this year. You know what I'm saying? I did go last year. That was the dandyism joint last year I went. But the second one that I went to, I had met this I want to call her like a fashion reporter, but that don't even really make sense. Why would you need to report on? Anyway, I had saw this lady on this platform where she discusses fashion and whatnot, and it's losing me. It's eluding me right now. I'm gonna find this platform because I'm not too sure what the name of the platform is right now. But I got to tell this story. So me and this lady's following each other. You know what I'm saying? She's cool. I'm cool. And after a while, it got to be very complimentary in terms of my outfit choices and whatnot. And give her all the credit in the world, she was fly too. And so it's maybe 3 years ago or so. Go to the Met Gala, and lo and behold, I see this woman, and I see a lot of the people she's with. Now, she's with some other models and things of that nature. I already said that the way that I seen it was through the lens of fashion. What do you call it, man? Like it's like reporting almost. But anyway, so I actually meet her in person that night. You know what I'm saying? And I'll show y'all this clip real quick. Just this quick little reel of where you can clearly see how this encounter went down, right? So this is at the time that what's that song? Yeah, Not Like Us was popular. And so there you go, boom. Style interpreted. You see me? Look at me. Fly as I am, you know what I'm saying? Check me out. Look at me, man. Look at me. Not yet. That ain't me yet. Look, it's like watching TV, your TV. Look, there I go right there. Look, there I go. That's what I said when I first saw it. But anyway, she introduced me to a lot of people that night. She introduced me to some model friends of hers. She introduced me to some photographers, some real estate people who also enjoy fashion. My boy Laquan was one of them. You dig what I'm saying? This model named Lauren was one of them. What's this other girl? Her name is I forget her name. Style by Cadenza, but I forget her name. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. She's cool. I think another one named Julia. It's like a bunch of cool people. And this fella named Tony. He's a photographer. And Style Interpreted was the brand at the time. I believe they changed it or whatever, but Style Interpreted was the brand at the time. And, it was cool. You know what I mean? It was real cool. It was not, no problems whatsoever. And, do the pictures and everything like that. It was all cool. Like I said, it was all cool. And, from the pictures, we did an interview. Now, it's no longer on my Instagram. I can't find this interview. I still see that post, but I believe that post was me. I don't know if the platform is down, but I'm not going to be able to find it, so it's all good. We still had that little reel clip that I could show, though. You know what I'm saying? So the fashion industry took me by surprise. But anyway, just to continue with the story. So I do this interview with this fella, you know what I'm saying? And I go to a couple of their events. He's hosting these events at his place, these networking events, which it was cool. Like I said, it was a nice entryway into the fashion world, not just from going to events, recruiting models myself, doing my own photo shoots and videos and such, but just networking with a bunch of cool people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my boy Laquan, one of the coolest. You know what I'm saying? And the woman Erica, she's cool too. You know what I mean? She did nothing wrong. She's a very cool person. But the fella Tony, he did the interview with me. You know what I'm saying? I go to a couple of his events, and he keeps trying to pitch me on this magazine that he finna start. And so he keep pitching me, keep emailing me. I got the emails, as a matter of fact. I'm gonna plug the emails in here. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna plug the email. Let's see if I can find these emails. I think that's what we should actually do, man. Let's see if we can find these actual emails, man. Because that'll be something, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be something? Yeah, here we go. I got all the emails. So I got all the emails, man. So it started off with him wanting to bring me on his podcast, man. Now, my name is Dario Love. Hi, Dario. I'm excited at the possibility of having you as a TFOCB podcast guest. The next step is to schedule a call to discuss the podcast episode. The questionnaire, quick Zoom call link includes a little of what to expect. Now, he sent me a link to do the questionnaire and all of that. This is all pretty standard. You know what I'm saying? I've done other people's shows before. Once we had a chance to discuss everything, I'll send over a separate link to choose a date time to you to record your episode in our studio. If you're available, please join us for our upcoming happy hour. See, he's inviting me to the events and whatnot. It's an incredible networking opportunity with incredible people. Plus, our happy hour supports a good cause. So he's Tony Arts, TFOCB, Executive Director, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's great. You know what I'm saying? That is amazing. You know what I'm saying? Now, I didn't say anything. So he sends me a follow-up email. Hi, Dario. Are you still interested in being a guest on our podcast? Our production calendar is filling up quickly, and I want to make sure we're able to get you in. So he sends me another link to schedule a Zoom call. Either way, if you could please let me know, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you, Dario. He's very excited. He's very enthusiastic. He wants me on his show. And, I didn't say nothing. So he sends me another email. Hi, Dario. Have you gotten up on being a guest on our podcast? Have you given up on being a guest on our podcast? Schedule a Zoom call. If you could please let me know, I'd appreciate it. At this point, I'm not... I can't say it's desperation. I can't say I can see it as a con getting ready to happen. It just seems to me that he's very much interested in me. I'm a very interesting person, okay? I do a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like, he just really want me on his show. Like, why wouldn't he? Everybody wants me on their show. Like, what that Vog say on State Property? The Vog, what's his name? I think his name was Butter, right? And Beans was looking for him. And old boy said, yeah, Beans is looking for you. He was like, everybody's looking for me. He was like, everybody's looking for me, man. So let's continue on this email thread. So I responded back. I finally responded back. I said, let's do it. Finally responded back. I said, let's do it. So I think that's when I decided to, schedule it. And look, here's the other email. New meeting booked with Tony Ars. This is a confirmation email, May 24th, 2024. So that's when I met him. I think the Met Gala is like May 5th or something, early in May. And so met him there. And then by May 24th, I already scheduled a Zoom. Well, not a Zoom. I've already scheduled an interview to go do his podcast, right? And here it is, right here, Dario, a.k.a. MadFlo Jr. Yeah, at the podcast. Sent me the invitation and everything. So there's an invite. Yeah, we can click it. There it is. There's the Google invite. Friday, May 24, 2024, 9 a.m. So it's an early joint. Again, no problem at all, right? I was happy to do it. Right? This is just all very interesting. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I gotta look at this for what it is, bro. Like, this is very interesting. You know what I'm saying? Give me a second, cause I gotta get to the pitch, man. I gotta get to the pitch, pitching me to do the magazine, and it was a slow burn because again I wasn't particularly interested, right? So here we go. Here we go. So this is dated September 4th. So this is obviously after I did the podcast and went to a few of these events. Because like I said, he was real cool. During the interview, he said something to me that stuck out to me. He said, you seem like a very intentional person. And I was like, wow, that's different. You know what I'm saying? For you to catch that. He was like, yeah, he said, you seem like you do things with intention. Now, I didn't catch that as sinister. And I didn't see that as like him seeing something in me that obviously mirrors himself. But he said he as well. And I should have took that for what it should have been. So here's the email. Hi, Dario. I hope you're doing well. I have an amazing opportunity that I believe will be a great fit for you and could significantly impact your sales and marketing efforts. He knows that I do Tribal Kingdom shop. So go to tribalkingdom.com, get you some merch. No pressure at all if it's not for you, but I'd like to remiss if I didn't at least share it with you. So he's not being pushy. You know what I'm saying? He wants to make it seem as if he could help me. Here's what I can tell you. High profile collaboration. Here come the bullet points. Boom, boom, boom. Chaz Michaels is figure skating. So he hit me with all these like super duper high points, right? Super duper high bullet points. High profile collaboration. Boom. We're teaming up with some very influential people in Chicagoland area that give you high visibility alongside them. Boom. Highly exclusive. This project expected to attract significant attention. So we're being very selective about who we include. So he's selling me on the exclusivity. He's selling me on the fact that, yeah, everybody ain't going to be able to get in, man. I'm trying to get you in. You know, you cooler than everybody else. I love to catch up and walk you through it. Should I give you a quick call or would you prefer to schedule 10 minutes to go over the details? I like to choose a time that works best for you. Here's my calendar. Send me his whole calendar, right? And I get back to him that same day, you know what I'm saying? Because at this point, we cool now. We done went to some events. We did the interview. I got no reason not to respond. At first, I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And so I responded to him, hey, Tony, I'm interested in hearing more about this. Can you schedule a call for Saturday at noon? Very short, didn't go into no super long details. Gets back to me right after that. I appreciate you getting back to me, brother. Calls me brother. That was the thing of his. He likes to call people brother. But didn't treat me like a brother. I'm booked from 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, but I'm available on Sunday at 9 or Monday after 12. Any of those times works for you. Being very accommodating. I said, absolutely. Sunday at noon, I'll be available, you know. Gets back to me, sorry for the confusion. I only have time available on Sunday at 9 a.m. I'll be at church. Again, church was a big thing. That was a big part of our conversation on and off camera was the Lord. And it's funny because I see people on the internet now, everybody's talking about the Lord and Christian and God and Jesus and whatnot. And not that it got me, but I like spiritual people. Like, you know what I'm saying? If somebody got a connection with God that they can speak on and they got some type of, because people ain't really so forthcoming with it, you know what I mean? And not to discuss religion per se, but just knowing that somebody has a connection to a higher power. But again, it may not always be what it's cracked out to be. So I say no problem. Monday works for me. You know, give me his calendar again so we can schedule some more yada, yada, yada. And I just got to get to, you know, more so the actual thing, man. So we scheduled a meeting. Here we go. This is the other thread. Fashion magazine sponsorship. It was great catching up with you, brother. So this is dated September 9th, 2024. I haven't spoken about this at all. And I haven't spoken a word about it. This is the first time I'm speaking about it because the topic of the show today is, have you ever been kind? Well, that's one of the questions of today is, have you ever been kind? And I've been kind in business, not in personal life. People try to con me. It's mainly bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like some crazy woman or somebody who wants me to think that they something that they not so they can get in my life and do whatever they want to do. But I'm more wise to them. And every time something happens in business, because it didn't happen in the music business, where DJs and ran off on the plug twice. Some DJ want to play your song or whatever and try to get you to send them money. And it's just never a good practice to send anybody money. You almost can't do business with nobody. This is why we on the Ask Mad show. Like, I done been on people's shows and everything. Look, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's finish with these emails, yeah? It was great catching up with you, brother. Thank you again for taking the time to chat about the exciting work we're doing. I'm really looking forward to the chance to collaborate and showcase your brand. Running an ad in our fashion magazine is a great way to get in front of the right people, and I'm confident it'll bring you some valuable exposure. As I mentioned, whether you choose a full-page ad spread or cover, you also get a complimentary podcast sponsorship, $750 value at no extra cost. Good for me, right? Here's the link you can lock in your spot. You register to sponsor. He's very meticulous about, you know, doing things official, which is why, again, it worked. As a thank you for your sponsorship, once we move forward with the production of the Evoked magazine, I believe that was the magazine that he was trying to create called Evoked. I love to feature you in it. Well, that was one of the magazines. I guess he had a fashion magazine and a music magazine, but he's really drawing it, you know, real nice, drawing the picture very nice for me. There's no cost associated with being featured, and it will undoubtedly generate some great publicity for you and your business. I'm a musician. I'm an entertainer. You got other things that I could benefit from. Let's do business here and do something there. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't I? This guy seemed like a serious person. You know what I'm saying? Additionally, I'll take the liberty of registering you to our upcoming Coach's Corner event on September 24th as my guest. It's a perfect opportunity to make new connections and capture more exposure for your brand. Just let it if you can make it. I don't know what that means. So just let it if you can make it. I'm assuming he meant to say, let me know if you can make it. I look forward to working with you and making this partnership a success. Tony R's TFOCB Executive Director. I got no reason to think that this ain't, you know, legitimate. You know what I'm saying? So what day was this? That was September 9th. 2 days later, I respond. September 11th. Good morning. It was great meeting with you as well. I'm happy to move forward with you on this. I have a few questions for you. How would you like the payment to be made? Should I send it Zelle, or will you be sending an invoice? Is there a particular format for the ad? I have chosen to do a quarter-page ad for $400 like we discussed. Is there a specific size the ad should be? So he's pitching me on full page, you know what I'm saying, front page, all of this. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just start kind of small. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how this will develop over time, because you're asking me to invest in you and your brand and your product. And I got no problem with doing that. We need to see it. You know what I'm saying? I do, at least. You know what I mean? I'm a visionary. I'm a visible person. So I need to be able to see something in order to go with it fully. So I decided that this guy's pitching me on this and he's being a cool dude. I want to invest in this fella, but I'm going to do it on the smaller side of the game. So for a quarter-page ad, $400 doesn't seem too bad for me. I said, lastly, can the ad feature images of models, or does it have to be clothing or only my company logo? I'm trying to get an understanding. Thanks for bringing me on board. I look forward to the launch. So I'm looking forward to this launch. And here you can see the receipt. $423.94. I sent them to the face of community in business. That's what TFOCB stands for, the acronym, the face of community in business. Because like I said, he's pitching me on community and doing good things and everything. And here you can see where I sent him the images. Here are the images I sent. The TK collection, shop now. You know what I mean? Sent him a few different ads, that would fit. And then obviously the Tribal Kingdom logo. And this is how serious all of this was. And he sent me some stuff back for the ad. So let's read this one. This is the last one, September 18th. Hey, brother, I hope you're having a good week so far. I attached the artwork for the ad with some changes to what you sent, but all within the same style. All in all, we love it and hope you do too. We, I don't know who we is, but I'm assuming that's more people at the face of community and business, yeah? Let me know what you think. So he sends me the ad that they came up with. Let's show this ad real quick. And it was cool. I had no reason to dislike it. It's very similar to the ad that I made, but it was more in line with what they wanted to do. And there you have it. Look at me in all my splendor. Ironically, coincidentally, I used this photo for the back cover of the last summer mixtape that I put out that same year, I believe. No, actually, I put that out the following year. Last summer, the first one came out. So he sends me the ad, and I start responding to what he sent me. Hey, bro, I love it. I'm definitely excited for the launch. This is going to be epic. Hope everything is doing well. I look forward to seeing the final product. Hey, brother, how's everything going? Now, this is by November 13th. Look, this is how big this jumped. September 18th, I said, I love it, and I don't hear nothing for so long. November 13th, I'm like, man, I got to see, what's going on. I'm trying to text the dude. I'm calling them. You know what I'm saying? I obviously don't have those old text messages or old phone calls because, this is 2 years ago. But I'm trying to get a hold of this fella. Can't get a hold of him. Finally, I sent him another email, November 13th. Hey, brother. Again, we with this brother stuff. That's why nobody could don't ever call me brother. We not being brothers. I'm nobody's brother. Yeah. I got 3 brothers and I got a sister. They're the only people that can call me brother. And I got a brother that's not my brother, but he's my brother. Money bags. Nobody else can call me brother. Yeah. Hey, brother, how's everything going? How are things going with the launch? I get no response. That's the end of our communication as we know it. There has been no further communication with me and this fella. And I got the emails to prove it. Just fell off the face of the earth. And I know you out there, Tony. Hey, Laquan, holla at your boy. What's up with your homie? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's just, if you've never been conned before, you won't be able to understand how some of these things happen. Because somebody could look at my story and they could say, man, you fell for that. I would have never fell for that. Woo, woo, woo. Maybe you wouldn't have. And maybe you fell for some stuff that I didn't fall for. You probably been conned in personal life. You got a baby mama that you can't stand. You got kids that you secretly don't like. Because you got conned. You got conned into thinking something was better than it was. You know what I'm saying? And it can happen to anybody, man. Everybody plays the fool sometimes. There's no exception to the rule. Listen, baby. It may be factual, may be true. I ain't lying. But everybody plays the fool. Ooh. That's just how it is, man. Everybody plays the fool, you know what I'm saying? And I recently watched this movie that came out not too long ago called Marty Supreme. And Timothy Chamalama, whatever his name is, Timothy Chalamet. Mama say Makus. Anyway, the white boy that was running around the New York Knicks going crazy because they want him. He was in a movie called Marty Supreme, came out not too long ago. And he not a con man per se, but he's a terrible liar. He's very dishonest. And he wears it, his arrogance. You can clearly see that you shouldn't trust this fella. You know what I'm saying? This Marty Mauser fella. You know what I'm saying? Very intense. And there's a point in the movie where he talking to an old girl that he got pregnant. Now, this a girl, I guess he known her since he was a little boy, but she was somebody else's wife. You know what I'm saying? And he straight up told her, like, man, go home. Like, go home. I can't be worried about you. I'm worried about me. I have to do certain things to get to where I'm going in life. Again, he's the ultimate hustler. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to catch the big fish. He wants to be the best ping pong player in the world. So he had to go to Japan to beat the ping pong champion of the world that beat him prior. He had to get back out there, and he wasn't going to let nobody stop him. And along the way, he lied to a lot of people. He stole from people. You know what I'm saying? He put this rich woman in a precarious position, and her husband, he was kind of the mess out of him, but you could clearly see it on him. And nobody dealt with Marty Supreme without knowing who he was. Everybody that came in contact with him knew he wasn't no good, and they wanted to deal with him anyway. Maybe it was his charisma. Maybe it was the way he talked. What I'm saying is anybody could be kind, but I can appreciate a Marty Supreme better than somebody calling me brother. Than somebody talking to me about the Lord and Jesus and all like that. Better than somebody talking to me about community and business, trying to sell it as if they a good person, that they a spiritual person, that they have good intentions. Now, he never said he had good ones. He did say he was intentional, and that was on me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was accepting the networking, the community of it, other cool people that's in their circle that I know ain't got nothing to do with his kind with me. Whatever it was in him that he decided that he wouldn't do that to me and whoever else, because who's to say I'm the only person that invested in this magazine that never came out? If anybody else had dealings with the face of community and business, acronym TFOCB, or style interpreted as it was known formerly, and you also invested in this magazine, you should speak out. Reach out to me. Let's see if we can get this story. Let's see if it has legs, as they say, and see who else got conned, because I don't think I was the only one, because he was showing me other ads. Now, I don't have these because he showed them to me in person. Like I said, I went to these interviews and we met up, whatever. And the Mighty Supreme dude was doing a whole bunch of ripping and running, but people wanted to buy into him. He wasn't pitching nothing to nobody. People was wanting to buy into him, not just for his skills, but they saw how much he believed in himself. And at the end of the movie, it wasn't that he did wrong by winning because he believed in himself. It was the fella, Kevin O'Leary's character, the dude with the pens. I forget his name in the film, man, but he had the ink pens. Rockwell, the fella Norman Rockwell, I believe. Rockwell wanted to capitalize off of his loss, and he wanted him to lose again. So he staged this fake ping pong match with the champion of Japan. And Mighty Supreme, his arrogance, his pride wouldn't allow him to lose, even though he lost the first game. He had to challenge it and say that wasn't a real game, and he challenged them to a real ping pong match, and he won. And the film ended with him winning and going to the hospital to see his daughter, and that's the movie. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot of wrong things, I guess, but he did a lot of things that showed who he was. So you didn't have to guess, and you knew what you was getting. Now Mighty Supreme might have took the ping pong world by surprise, and the fashion industry might have took me by surprise. I was used to the music industry, you know what I'm saying? The tricks of the music industry, because they had already got to me when I was young, as a teenager, giving money to DJs and this, that, and the other, and just really trying to get myself out there, because I always been a hustler, man. I always been somebody who believed in myself and wanted to push my craft to the front. And I was recently my girl reminded me when I got my first camera, and, I wanted to take pictures with the Tupac bandana, the camo bandana sitting, and with real mean gangster faces. So I was looking. It was called Mad at the World, and boy, was I was mad at the world, you dig? And ever since then, I just been elevating my game. You know what I'm saying? To get to the point where somebody could con me. And it wasn't nothing but $400. So it ain't like I've been taking for a long ride down the street. But money is money. I don't care who you is. That's $400, man, that I didn't have to give. And I wasn't really thinking of giving. He just pitching it to me. And he was very, very consistent. He was on my heels about this. And I finally gave in and said, you know what? What's the worst that could happen? Worst come to worst, I'm just out of $400. And I know not to deal with TFOCB ever again. I know not to deal with style interpreted ever again. And I'm not here to really slander anybody. That's why I showed the receipts. And I didn't say nothing about it when it first happened, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I put that on myself. I really did. I put it on myself to be so trusting when I'm not a very trusting person. And part of me not being a very trusting person and, seeing con men and dishonest people, coming around in all different angles of the game and the music game, you know what I'm saying? has some cons to it. And before we get to the music industry con, we got to go to another con, somebody that I've been paying attention to. The governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. Now, I'm a guy who likes to stay aware of things, but I'm not necessarily a political guy like that. But I just keep seeing these YouTube commercials for this J.B. Pritzker fella, man, and it don't really make sense to me. I don't understand why a politician needs a commercial. Why do you need a commercial? Especially if you've been running the state for however many years, why do you need to create a commercial? I would think that somebody who's running against you, a potential candidate, would do a commercial. Because you brand new. Don't nobody know you. We've never heard of you. We've never seen you. So you got to make a commercial. But if you've already been in power, so to speak, if you've already been running things, we should already know what you've been doing. Because we should be able to see the fruits of your labor. You understand what I'm saying? Throughout the years of you being our governor. But they resort to their old tricks. Now, it's funny because you would think that Illinois was made up of all black people, which is obviously not. You know what I'm saying? Chicago has a concentrated, population of black people. And throughout Illinois, you got black people here and there, but you got a lot of white folks. You got a lot of Hispanics. You got a lot of different people in Illinois, man. And when they do these commercials, they really go for it in terms of like who it is that they want to show. And here they is with this lady, and no disrespect to the sister here. This sister Betty. There's a woman named Betty who passed away. God bless the dead. She had the same birthday as me. And, God bless Betty. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. Let's watch this J.B. Pritzker commercial. But wait, there's more. Wait a minute. Let's watch. We was looking for the Huckleberry. Then we got you.
Never delivered. Chicago's far south side will have a new purpose. But not J.B. Pritzker. He's actually changing things. He's creating jobs for people right here.
Using a lot of black people, Hispanics.
That's true to his word.
He's true to his word. I guess we need a commercial to tell us that.
Never delivered.
Other politicians promise but never deliver. J.B. Pritzker, he delivers. He's creating jobs, apparently. Create 3,000 new jobs. I mean, I didn't hear about it, but, I don't know everything, I guess. Right? I don't know everything.
Politicians that promise and never deliver.
Yeah.
Along came a man by the name of J.B. Pritzker.
Along came this man, J.B.
Pritzker. He's walked our blocks.
He's walked our blocks, and he's actually changing things.
Politicians that promise.
Yeah, they never deliver.
Along came a man by the name of J.B.
Along came a man. Look at him. Oh, the con is in, man. I mean, he did this all in a day. He's got the same shirt on him. Maybe he just got a lot of those shirts, but here's one of my favorites. Because you never know when these videos going to pop up on YouTube. You never know when these commercials are going to actually pop up. So I've been having a struggle record these. I'm sorry, I showed this one already. That's not the one. Here's the one.
Please, because we're carrying that through. I've got
now he's
10
with the white
credit
fella.
upgrades for the state. We've balanced the budget every single year. We've paid off the entire $17 billion of unpaid bills.
Where the money
Our
come from?
pension system is in a much better
Look at this fella. This fella, he is under duress.
Because
I'm
we're
sorry.
carrying that through. I've gotten 10 credit upgrades for the state. We've balanced the budget every single year. We paid off the entire $17 billion of unpaid bills. Our pension system is in a much better position.
Look at this fella. This fella is under duress. He is like, I'm forced to sit. He didn't eat his food. Whatever that is on his plate, he clearly ain't eating it. J.B. Pritzker got himself a Pepsi, it looked like, and coffee. I don't know who drinks Pepsi and coffee, but this is clearly staged. J.B. for governor, standing for progress, fighting for you. Paid for by J.B. for governor. I don't know if that's a con or not. I can't sit up here and say that. I have no proof. I don't know nothing of which he is speaking of. Everything he's saying could be completely legit. I have no idea. I don't know. So I'm not going to pretend to know. I do not know. I hope so. I hope he's not fooling the people, man. I hope everything that he's saying is, on the up and up. I really do. You know what I mean? But you know, there's no way of knowing. There's no real way of knowing if JB Pritzker is, you know, the guy he says he is. I just don't think you have to. I don't think you would have to do these commercials if you help create 3,000 jobs and you saving pensions and you pay $17 billion deficit. First of all, how do we get to $17 billion deficit for the state? And where you get the money from to pay it? Where did the money come from? So you're making it seem like you balanced the books, but where did you get the money to balance them? And who imbalanced them? Can we get a accurate detail? Can we open the books? I would like that. I would like if we could literally open the books and we could see exactly where the money went, where it came from. Everything was moving around because there was a quote unquote migrant crisis and a lot of funds went there. And so when you say balancing the books and a $17 billion deficit, did some of that money come from that? And who paid it? The taxpayers? I know I pay taxes. So I would like to know how JB Pritzker found this money. And, you know, I don't know. Kind people, man, they all around. You know what I'm saying? And there's no shortage of kind people in entertainment. Again, like I was speaking about, going back to the music industry. Producer Mike Will made it. We all know Mike Will made it. Great producer, worked with Gucci Mane, Ray Shrimmer, right? He had made a Twitter post. And I want to visit this Twitter post real quick. X. I guess it's not Twitter no more. I keep saying Twitter. I'm going to forever call it Twitter, man. But you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about X, yeah? Let's see what Mike Will Made It had to say. He says, they never should have did away with CDs. They should have never did away with CDs. Now, I can only assume that he's referring to this in the context of streaming and how CDs are so much better. It's better to have a physical copy of something that you purchase at a particular price point than streaming something that you actually didn't purchase, you borrowed, you rented for a period of time, and the person that you rented it or borrowed it from has taken your data and they sold it to advertisers and data collectors and whoever else wanted. In exchange for that, they were paid, this platform, and they gave the artist literally not even pennies on the dollar, fractions of a penny for that stream that you didn't pay for monetarily, but you did pay for with your data, with your information, which is just as valuable, if not more valuable, because they know what products to market to you, and they know basically everything it is to know about you to either keep you where they want you or put you where they want you to go. And being able to go to a store and buy something, a physical copy, something that's yours, even if you ordered it, you know what I'm saying? It's not like you have to go somewhere to buy something for it to be tangible. You can order it. But streaming, you're not buying it, you're not ordering it, you streaming it. And him saying this, that they should have never did away with CDs, it's almost as if people ain't still buying CDs. People still buy CDs. It's been a reemergence of vinyl and CDs because the smart consumer, not the average consumer. The average consumer are useless idiots. You know what I'm saying? They are useless eaters. You know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing. So they streaming stuff out of convenience without realizing that they're paying more than they would have if they would have just bought it, because you're going to continuously pay this subscription. Now, whether you on Netflix, whether you on, Apple, whatever it is that you pay a subscription, Disney, you're paying to be able to see something over and over and over again. And if you would have just bought it, you wouldn't have had to keep paying to see it. Because let's be honest, most of us that watch or listen to things, we're not really invested in the new thing like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, there's a new season of House of the Dragon. It's like, okay, did you watch it? It's like, yeah, I was able to watch it because I subscribed to HBO. It's like, okay, cool. They got YouTube, right? They got YouTube where you can look at previews. You can look at a whole recap of a season where you don't have to pay for YouTube. YouTube is free. You don't have to subscribe to YouTube, but they is selling your data. So that's that. But the point is, if you're able to know about something as a preview, for example, streaming is like going to the movies, or it was at one point, where they came out with a new film and they said, hey, this is a new movie. Show you a preview of the movie. Based on the preview of the movie, you decided whether or not you wanted to pay money to go see it, right? And if you paid money to go see that film, you might have went to the movie another time if you really enjoyed it. I mean, if this was just the best movie you ever saw, I've heard tell of people going to see a movie at the movie theater 10, 12 times. Not me. Anytime I've ever gone to see a movie at the movie theater, I only went one time to go see it. I did not go back a second time. But if it came out on DVD, on DVD, then you would go to the store, buy it, and now you can watch it as many times as you want to at home. You got a DVD player. Watch as many. You got a Blu-ray player for those of y'all who want it in this, great quality. Go home and watch it again as many times as you want to. You already bought it. It's yours. It might have cost you $20-something, $30 at the most. Didn't cost you that much to buy the physical copy of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what, 3 months worth of subscription? Not even the way these prices is going up. It's like 2 months as a subscription. So you mean to tell me you can only watch this for 2 months to get the value of it that you would get from buying it and having it forever? You would rather choose to keep paying to watch the same thing, because let's be honest, you're not really watching all the new shows. And if you didn't like it, you ain't watching it no more. You end up going back to a show that you like The Office or Game of Thrones, you know what I'm saying, or The Sopranos or The Wire or Breaking Bad. Like, you end up going to those quote unquote classics. You know what I'm saying? You end up going back and watching something that you already know is good. But why would you have a paid subscription to do that and not just go buy it? Because you can go and buy House of the Dragon season 1, season 2. You can go buy The Sopranos, the whole series. You know what I'm saying? They still sell them in places where you can go buy it. You know what I mean? Because they not finna completely get rid of the physical industry. They know how much money it bring them. But they want to push the convenience factor, because if they can get you to pay for something over and over, why wouldn't they? That's the ultimate con. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest con of it all. Streaming is the biggest con. And people that claim they've never been kind in business, they never been kind in relationship, you definitely got con if you have a subscription. Whether you got a music subscription, television, whatever it is that you subscribe to, that you paying money for every month to be able to watch the same thing, listen to the same thing over and over, you've been kind, homie. And don't keep yourself out of that, classification, because you think you're better than somebody. Mike Will made it, said it. They should have never did away with CDs. And he's talking about the music industry. And it's a lot of independent artists that still sell CDs. I do. Still sell vinyl. I do. Go to MadFloJr.com, get you some vinyl, get you a CD. Support the artist. You know what I'm saying? And not the machine. You putting your money into... It's like, you ever see those little horses outside the dollar store? You put a quarter in it, you get to ride it for all of 5 seconds. It don't even move fast. Don't even feel like you riding a horse. It's just going back and forth as slow as possible. Now, if you was 3 years old, that's the most fun you ever had. Now, my mama ain't had no coins and whatnot. So I'm like, Mom, can I ride the thing? No, you can't ride the thing. Because she knew she was wasting her money putting her quarter in that thing for me to get 5 seconds of movement, and then it's over. And you got to keep putting money in it to keep feeling it move. And that's all subscription-based services is, unless you're getting something brand new. So if you have a Patreon channel and people are subscribed to your Patreon, that's because they get new content every so often, and they already like you as a content creator. See, content creation is different than movies and music and such, right? Because it don't change in movies and music. It's the same thing. It's the same beat, same melody, same lyrics. You know what I'm saying? It's the same plot, the same, third act. It don't change. But with a content creator, with somebody who's doing content creation, you're going to get something new every time. So if you subscribe to that, that's not a con. You have to know the difference. Know the difference between who's here to con you and who's here to do good business. Obviously, this fella TFOCB was here to con me. He wasn't here to do good business. And I've learned since then. But anybody could tell you, if they ever did business with me, with Tribal Kingdom, with Mad, they're going to tell you that not only did I pay them, they're going to tell you that I fulfilled my obligation and I did everything that I said I was going to do. And that's just real. So, I don't know. It's up to you, man. But we in good spirits over here. I got to get off of this and get to my boy Ramses. Got to get up to the second floor and clean up the mess that the tenants had made. If you rent property, man, be good to your landlord. You never know what problems they got going. It ain't all about you. Who you think got to keep this thing running? The landlord ain't just here to collect money from you, man. They here to maintain and elevate the space. I'm upgrading as we speak. You know what I'm saying? Remodeling bathrooms and such. You know what I'm saying? I am a man of my word. You know what I'm saying? I do good business. I do what I say I'm going to do. And my contractors, they trust me. They know that whatever I say is law. My word is bond. You should try and strive in your life to not con people, but be honest, have integrity, and good do work, and your reputation will follow you. Similarly, if you do bad work and you conning people, your reputation will follow you, and people should know about you. Don't be mad if word get out that you done con somebody.